All right, welcome to Legacy Live. This is going to be changing it up a little bit today. I'd like to introduce LA, not the LA, well, my LA, but not Lance Armstrong.
No, not Lance Armstrong.
My lovely bride, Laura Andrews. She's here today to bring us the feminine touch, to talk to us a little bit about the different aspects that women look at in cycling. But first, we're going to talk about and thank you for your comments and feedback, because we've been getting a lot. And today's show, we're going to base it off of some of those questions and the feedback we've been getting. And we're going to kind of focus today on, what separates a local bike shop from a big box retailer. And we're also going to talk a little bit about what to look for or how you pick your first bike. So Laura's going to ask me some questions, and we're going to kind of role play. No jokes, but we're going to talk a little bit about those different aspects. But first, as we start with every week, we want to go on talking about a little bit about this weekend's ride schedule. I know that the peddlers, as we talk about, they have Friendly Friday tomorrow morning, and then their local Saturday and Sunday morning rides. I know Relentless and some of the Tri-Power crew, they're heading up and racing in Claremont this weekend. So that's the summer series up there that Fred Summers puts on, Sprint Triathlon Series. So I think this is either race number 3. And then also this Saturday morning is the Summer Series 5K out at Highlands Hammock 5K run. I know our son Matthew's going to be running. I think the whole high school cross-country team is going to run tomorrow too, I think, right?
So, yes.
Well, you just came from a cross-country meeting.
Yes,
I figured you'd
think
know.
They are. Yes.
All right, so, and then Sunday morning, Relentless is riding their 7 a.m. at the Sebring Civic Center. They're doing a group 25-mile route, and then a B group 14-mile route. And then, of course, 8 a.m. here, we have Legacy Ladies and Lattes, and we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to the women's touch. So don't get too excited yet. All right. So let's dive in. I know Laura's just dying to ask me some of these questions. She loves putting me on the spotlight. So and these guys, I'm sure, are hearing of me dominating the conversation. so let's talk a little bit about buying experience and buying habits in local bike shops.
Okay, so how do people determine what is the right bike for them?
Well, so hey, the first thing we always try to do is get a feel for the person as to what their riding goals are. So if they're wanting to buy a bike to ride in their neighborhood, to ride down to the pool, to go do a 25-miler, those are really important topics to first touch on. But the number one question I normally try to find out is, what are they riding now, if anything, and what goals do they have in riding? So, are you looking to ride for exercise? Are you looking to ride for pleasure? Are you looking to ride with the family? All of those things are important. And the reason they're important is there's a right tool for each job. Mm-hmm. So, if your goal is to ride with the family and hit some off-road trails, we're not going to put you on a fitness hybrid or a road bike. We're going to put you on a comfort bike or a mountain bike that meets those needs. If your goal is fitness and increasing your cardiovascular ability and things of that nature, we'll start talking about, well, maybe you need a hybrid, or maybe you need a fitness hybrid, or maybe even moving to a traditional road bike. So primary function is, what are your fitness goals? Why are you coming in to buy a new bike? And what do you currently ride? So I kind of get an idea of what the customer's accustomed to.
Very good.
Is it very good?
It is very good.
You're so much better than Kevin. You're adorable. With him, you got the beard and food stuck in it. It's just awkward.
Okay. So.
Okay.
What are you currently riding?
What am I currently riding? depends on the flavor of the day, the month, of the week, or the year. Right now, I'm riding a Allez Sprint Smart Weld with a set of Revolve CLX 32 wheels.
Okay.
I would be riding SRAM Red, but my good buddy Kippy got my components on his new ride.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for my new shifters to come in.
And so for the people who don't know what SRAM Red is and all those different things,
Yes.
What makes that special?
Because it's going to be on my bike. Actually, what makes it special is it's on Jeff and Kip's bike.
Oh.
And Willem.
And I
So-
don't have it.
Those guys are special.
I'm not special, I guess, you guys. I don't have SRAM Red.
No SRAM Red.
Or Revolve. Well, yes.
Yes,
I
you
do.
do.
Never mind.
All right.
It's not the fancy.
Don't be so
Okay.
critical.
Okay. So like fitness limitations and goals, do you really find that out? Because a lot of times people maybe are not ready yet to go to there, so you kind of gauge more. They might kind of think they're ready to get
Sure.
to that level, but they're not ready to get to that level yet.
Sure, and on the more competitive side, we have people all the time that come in, maybe with a very limited running background or riding background, and want a tri bike. I need a tri bike. I want to be a triathlete. That's what I need. And so we'll start talking about some of their goals and objectives and where they come from. And oftentimes, a starter triathlete starts on a traditional road bike, drop handlebars, shifters on the brake levers. The tri bike is what we normally go to when somebody's advancing in their triathlon career. Rarely, unless you're Terry Hancock, do you just go directly to a tri bike and start there. Most of the time you start with a road bike, get comfortable in that road bike atmosphere, and then graduate yourself to a tri bike. So that's kind of what we talk about and go to from there. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, and this is really 75% of our clientele, they're looking, and this is what I tell people all the time, if you're not comfortable, you're not going to ride.
Yes.
And I'd rather not sell you a bike that's going to sit and collect dust. Mm-hmm. We'd rather put you on a bike that you're comfortable on so that you're going to get out and use it on a regular basis. And, today we sold a bike to a customer, and she was really hesitant. And we tried her on 3 or 4 bikes, and she wanted the look of the fitness hybrid.
It's a female thing, sorry.
But it was sportier. It didn't look old-fashioned. It didn't have a drop frame on it. It just looked cool.
Yeah.
She rode it, and immediately, I have to look up. It hurts my shoulders, and we talked about bending your elbows and things like that. But at the end of the day, she ended up buying a bike that had a step-through frame, a little taller front end, a little bit rise to the handlebars, but she was dead set comfortable. And, I had to explain to her, I said, it doesn't matter what the bike looks like. What matters is that you're comfortable getting on it and going out and meeting your goals, whether it be riding 3 miles once a week or riding 30 miles on a weekend. You have to be comfortable to ultimately enjoy that experience. So
true.
And, talking about, what we see, we all the time, or not all the time, but we often get asked, what's the difference between the bike I can buy for $115 at Walmart or Kmart or Target,
Yes.
or we're probably going to get shut down on Facebook Live because they probably think I'm talking derogatory about those big box retailers, but they're not specialty bike stores. So they provide a necessary tool for the person that's looking for a bike that they can ride once or twice and then, don't care about it anymore, can throw it away or hand it down or pawn it off. But it's not a tool that you can use on a regular basis. And that's one of the biggest differences between a local bike shop and a big box retailer. It's not just the mechanic and being assembled professionally. It's also the materials that are used. Mm-hmm. So the bearings are on hardened races on our bikes. So what that means is when you spin the wheel and have weight on that wheel, it's going to continue to roll longer and farther and easier. Whereas a department store, the bearing tends to gouge into the bearing race because it's not hardened, which causes speed reduction. We call them speed reducing bearings. So it's perfect for a kid that you don't want going down a hill too fast, but it's really a lot of work for the average person. So you have to take into consideration all of those moving components, all of those parts that make up a bike, and when each and every one of them are skimped on at a certain level, you have to realize that ultimate overall machine isn't going to perform well.
Right.
So each and every one of those little pieces of the puzzle add up to why a bike is a little bit more expensive through a local bike shop versus a big box retailer. And the worst thing about a big box retailer is
they're not assembled by.
They're not a professional to any level of degree. We've walked through a Target before, and you see a fork on backwards or a handlebars on wrong or something of that nature. So it's important, and I encourage, even if somebody doesn't have it in their budget to purchase a bike from their local bike shop, if you buy one at a department store, at the bare minimum, take it to your local bike shop and have them adjust and service it properly. That way it's not dangerous, and that way you can at least start to enjoy the riding experience to where you eventually want to make that investment in a quality bike.
Got it. Very good. So how can a bike cost $5,000?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
I get asked that a lot too, so I'm interested to hear this question.
Well, and it goes back to splitting hairs and talking about the everything that builds up to make that bike $5,000. Because it's not just it has a carbon fiber frame. That's an element of why a bike's $5,000, but it's not the sole element. It's not that it just has open ball bearings in the wheel versus cartridge bearings. That's another piece of the puzzle. The number of spokes in the wheel are less on a high-end bike, so why do I pay more? Mm-hmm. Because the rim is built to a higher standard, double-walled, more durable, doesn't flex as much, so it's able to use less spokes, which gets rid of your rotational mass and rotational weight. Gearing, chain, all of those components are what add up to why a bike costs $5,000. We have customers that ride wheel sets, just the wheels, take the frame, the chain, the gears, throw everything away, just the wheels, $2,200. Mm-hmm. And that's because they're the lightest production wheel made, real low resistance in their ceramic bearings, rotational weight. It's just a whole lot more efficient and effortless to ride that type of bike. Now, that being said, $5,000 is kind of at that mid-high to high level of bikes. You don't have to have a $5,000 bike to go out and ride with a local bike club, go out and ride with Relentless, or some of these different groups, or even go ride your neighborhood and enjoy the riding experience. At your local bike shops, you'll find that pretty much the bikes start around $400 and then they go up from there. Now, $5,000 is kind of mid to high level, and then the bikes can go all the way up to $10,000. But at that price point, you're talking about the exact same bike that somebody is using in the Tour de France or the Giro d'Italia. The factory teams are riding the exact same bike you can buy on your showroom today. And so that's a pretty cool component of it, but they cost $10,000. So, and just one of the other questions we get along that line is, we see all these groups out riding, we see them on these fancy bikes, but you don't have to have that $5,000 bike to be able to ride with these groups. So, a smaller investment of $700 to $1,500 gets you into a bike that is properly geared, has the proper size wheels and the proper size frame that fits you. And that's another big important part of the local bike shop equation is buying a bike that fits you properly. When you go to a big box retailer, one size fits all.
Right.
You would wear the same size shirt as me or vice versa.
All right. No, that's
So
good.
it'd be like Kevin wearing Caden's shirt. It's just not right. So one size does not fit all, and especially in the bike industry. Each bike comes in 5 to 8 different frame sizes depending on different, there are 3 things that come into account when we're fitting somebody: overall height, inseam, and then upper body. So, oftentimes we'll see a customer that has a 32-inch inseam but a very short upper torso and is only 5'5". Mm-hmm. And then we'll see customers that have a 30-inch inseam, very long upper torso, and are 5'11". Well, that's going to take a very different bike for each of those people. So it's very important to get one that fits and is sized to you properly.
So this is not on my list, but what's the difference between a female bike versus a male bike? Because that might be a question people have too.
Sure, and we could get into that in the women's segment next, but we'll hit it right now.
Sorry.
So a women's bike, and we're going to go with stereotypes here, but it's factual. Women tend to have longer legs, shorter upper torso, and a shorter reach than men. Mm-hmm. Men tend to have shorter legs relative to their upper torso and longer arms. So what we look at is reach, which is how far out to the handlebars; drop, which is seat to handlebars, how much lower is the handlebar to the seat; and then what's different mainly on a women's bike is the bike is engineered to have a little bit shorter top tube, a little shorter stem, a women's specific saddle, and sometimes a little bit slacked head tube angle. And what that does is it brings the bike into that woman's position and makes it a little bit more stable to ride. So it's very important. Like you're a prime example. At your height, you could easily ride one of multiple size of men's frames, but you fit and are much more comfortable on a women's specific bike because we haven't had to do modifications to make it work for you. The bike is engineered that way. So it's important to buy a women's specific bike that's engineered to meet your size. And the other key component, and we do bike fits all the time, you want to build the bike to you,
right? Not
force yourself into a riding position that makes the bike look cool. So, we spend a lot of time talking about your physical limitations, what's your flexibility like, what's your strength like, and then we try to apply those attributes to your bike fit. So,
if there's any questions.
Well, it says I'm describing Kip's bike.
Speaking That's your bike?
Stems.
Okay.
All right. So it's awesome not having Chet here. He can't defend himself. I don't know if you guys are paying attention. Scroll up and you'll see where Kevin is tonight. But anyhow. So that's just kind of in a nutshell, kind of the buying experience, what to look for. We spend a lot of time working with clients that aren't racers, that aren't budding triathletes. They're looking just to get out in a comfortable exercise and raise their fitness. And, second to swimming, cycling is, in my opinion, the second best exercise activity that you can do. Limited wear on joints. You don't get that harsh impact that you can get running. Overall, if you focus on your pedal cadence and keeping your heart rate up, you can get a really good quality workout in an hour. And so that's oftentimes where our goals are. And if you're riding by yourself, comfort and you enjoying that experience is paramount to anything else.
Right.
When we start talking about people who have goals to ride with other people, we get husbands and wife.
Yes, I was hoping you brought this up because this is a big question you get all the time.
So we get a husband and wife couple, boyfriend, girlfriend. Eric has a girlfriend. We get them that come in all the time, and they want to buy a pair of bikes.
Right.
And so my number one question is, you want to buy a pair of bikes. Are you guys intending to ride together?
Right.
Or are you going to go off and, Joe, are you going to go do the high-end fast ride while Susie does the loop around the lake? And so what this boils down to is if your intent is to ride together, you need to be on similar style of bikes.
Right.
Now, obviously, women-specific versus traditional, but similar style, meaning wheel size, gearing, and things of that nature.
So I'm not on a mountain bike or a cruiser, beach cruiser, and you're on a road bike, is what you're saying.
Well, maybe for me to keep up with you,
Oh.
but yes, yeah, absolutely right. You know, it would be miserable, and it wouldn't be a great couple experience.
Like our first mountain bike experience together. Yeah.
That's a whole different story. And you got lost. That's not my fault. Told you north. Which way is north, Kevin? Every direction. So anyhow, couple shopping and even friends coming in. You know, I want to ride with my friend. Okay, well, where's he riding and what type of bike is he riding? Because I don't want to put you on a hybrid when he's riding a road bike.
Yes.
Or I don't want to put you on a road bike when he's riding a mountain bike. Or I don't want to put you on a mountain bike when he's riding an adult three-wheeler. So, you know, all of those things have to come in play. But we try to specialize and make sure that we have a bike that fits all of those needs, from adult three-wheelers to cruisers to comfort bikes, hybrids, road bikes, mountain bikes, and all of the above.
Very good.
So, all right.
Did you find that helpful? I don't know.
Who's don't focus on the questions here. They're going to distract you, especially when Kip and Terry and Eric get in. They start battling back and forth.
They might have learned something tonight, right?
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
Who knows? All right. So, hey, now that they've all heard me talk, let's talk about a couple of the things I want to talk about.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, we have a lady here, so I want to talk about ladies' things.
Okay.
You know,
This could be interesting.
Well-
Ladies' things.
well, I want to talk about women in cycling. You know,
Okay.
women in cycling, where the view is always better from the rear. So here's a question for you. I've done sales for years, work on bikes,
Oh, they
blah,
like
blah, blah,
that
blah,
comment,
blah.
Dan. I guess they all think it's better to ride
So-
behind women.
Absolutely. If I could just pick what they wear, it'd be even better. But why are women so freaking picky?
Why can't we be picky?
But why are you? Listen,
Because we are.
matte black with black handlebar tape, carbon black cages with blacked out carbon wheels and black spokes with a full black kit is the bomb.
So you're talking about Eric Moore?
No,
He gets what I'm talking about.
Eric is not the bomb.
I don't know. It's
Well,
accessorizing. I always say, and I tell you this, and I tell women, for me and anybody who's biked with me, I've met
Teal's real.
Teal's real. And so for me, I look at it as jewelry for your bike.
Oh, look, we have props. I didn't even realize we had props. Look, pink, red, blue.
And on that topic, I had a woman who stopped me on the Pinellas Trail this weekend, hauling butt to find out where I got my pretty picky tape at. So, yes, she hauled butt. She raced so
She
fast
did.
to catch me
She did.
to find out where my tape was.
I think we were going too slow.
Whatever.
So let's talk about the shopping and buying experience.
Yes.
You know, I hear all the time that women are intimidated by me, I guess, but intimidated to go into a local bike shop. You know,
Okay.
they have these concerns or they're afraid somebody. What are the concerns that you think most women have in going into what, let's face it, is predominantly a male-driven sport? And I wouldn't say a male-driven sport, but in the bike shop world,
Mhm.
you mostly find men working in the shops.
True.
We try, and a lot of shops are trying to integrate and get women to help on the sales floor because they can just relate to the customers sometimes better. But so what do you think are some of the hesitations, or what do you hear are some of the hesitations of people to come into a bicycle shop?
So quite honestly, I think it's just how women and men even do directions in general. Like for women, I know I'm not the only one, I think it's a study. We do directions based on landmarks, not northwest, south, and everything. Some women might be like that, but the majority aren't.
Yes,
so
like
when
Kevin.
I come into a bike shop, I don't know, I'm learning because I'm married to you, what all the different components mean. But to me, like where a guy will come in and be like, oh yeah, dude, I saw about this component and everything else. They're not looking at the colors and how it looks. For me, when I come in, I'm like, oh my gosh, the color's so pretty. I really don't know what components are on it. So for me, it's all visual and it's not mechanical. So that's where
Good
you
reference.
come in. But for me, it's all visual. It's a visual experience.
Right. Okay. Good answer.
Okay.
That's awesome.
All right.
Visual, not mechanical.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. So
Do other ladies feel that way? You can
yeah,
give me props.
chime in if you
give
feel
me
that way.
thumbs up.
Well, let's talk about matchy.
Yes.
You know, that's
That's
my
me.
go-to line with my wife and most of her friends that ride with her is everything's matchy.
Yes.
So,
Why matchy?
you sure? If you can answer that question, ding, 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 I win. Why matchy?
I feel
Visual,
like
not mechanical.
visual, not mechanical, and I feel like it's
Can't women learn to be mechanical?
They can. You're
Is it a
teaching a
different
class
segment,
about
a different-
it.
Oh,
at some
that's right.
part.
Next Friday night here at the shop, we're doing a roadside repair clinic. So join us here at Legacy. I think we're doing 5:30 to 7 right here in the shop. So
Okay.
next Friday night. Go ahead.
Okay. So for me, matchy, honestly.
I don't mean what is it for you,
Let's
talk
in
about.
general, I think what it is, honestly, it's an extension of your personality.
Okay, Kevin, you want me to talk or
You
you
are.
to talk?
I've let you talk like this
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah.
So really,
Really? No, but why don't you talk about some of the things
Ways
that
you
you
can
try to
accessorize?
focus on accessorizing and matching on your bike, and not just your road bike, your mountain bike is that way also. So talk a little bit about some of the ways to accessorize and that you like to accessorize.
okay. So the main simplest way you can accessorize is bar tape. So right now I have a gray bike. And so how I accessorized was with my special tape. He doesn't have it here, but it's teal and it's black. And then how I also accessorize is Specialized loves me so much and they keep having teal. So I have teal shoes. So you can accessorize with your shoes. You can accessorize with your gloves, your helmet. You can accessorize with your road ID, which I don't have it on right now. Even your Garmin, you can accessorize your straps. You can accessorize with your bike shorts, your jerseys. I feel like I'm missing something. Your water bottles, your bags on the back, your
there's a plethora.
bottle cage holders. I mean, the possibilities are endless. It's like jewelry for your bike.
I love that. Jewelry for your bike. I'm going to start using
I
that.
say that, like I say on Facebook. Like, I got this watch for my anniversary. No diamonds for me. I'm all about the bike accessories.
Yeah. All right. So
Some people
All
are
right.
mad. I don't know why.
so done with
I love you.
matchy, done with all of this shopping experience stuff. I think we understand that, and really we've laid out our new store in a manner that hopefully is more appealing
To women.
and less intimidating for somebody, a woman or somebody who's just inexperienced in cycling, to feel comfortable walking in, have room to walk around the bikes and they're displayed differently. So, we're trying to be cognizant of that, but we also are cognizant that we're always evolving and improving. So,
I think that's Matthew. I think our son's just having fun with emojis.
probably. So, but I think what I would like to close tonight with is talking a little bit about riding opportunities for women.
Mhm.
We have a couple groups if they're interested in triathlons and cycling. We have the Highlands Peddlers Bicycle Club and the Relentless Tri Group. I know there are quite a few women that have been joining joining us on the Relentless Rides, and so that's exciting to see. And then, and some of those women started with a program you started a couple of years ago. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Legacy Ladies?
Yes.
Yes, my favorite. I love it. So I started, gosh, it's been a while now. It used to start in the afternoon, but we would get rained out or something would happen. And us women were busy. Like, I had a cross-country meeting. It's only the first day of school tonight. So we were trying to come up with dates. And the best date that came was Sunday morning at 8. We're very blessed. Our church is at 11. So it was something I was still able to commit to and still able to commit to go to church. So a lot of women were intimidated by riding with the bigger groups. It's a totally natural thing to riding in a group. I even find when I lead a lot the rides, I even have to get myself back comfortable riding in a group. So I decided, why don't we meet at 8? And then we'll stop and we'll have coffee at Starbucks and we'll socialize, because so much is that women don't ever have a time to just really communicate together. And we're all kind of, to me, it's all the kumbaya biking, but we realize we're not the only ones going through different things. So
the really bike say kumbaya of biking?
Yeah, kumbaya biking. So, so it's a time for us to
Can't wait to get the feedback on the show.
So it's actually a time for us to be able to, realize we're not the only moms going through different stuff. So we get the fitness, and then we also get that kind of just a release from the week. And it's not all negative, it's positive and great things. And then what's really wonderful about it is that we all kind of feel like we're part of different stages and seasons of life. There's women that are older than me or younger than me. So I value and so many great, wonderful things from women who are older than me that have already gone through that season, and vice versa.
Right.
So
you're talking about menopause?
I don't know. It's probably come up, but I don't know. And I'm not there yet, but I think it's come up, and so I feel a little bit more prepared because of my women group.
So you done the Legacy Ladies and Lattes, mm-hmm. and then twice a year, mm-hmm. You've had 2 larger events that you participated in, and that are women specific, and mm-hmm. and the guys, we trying to cater to you, and so Cycle Femme, and then the annual Specialized Women's Ride.
Yes.
So and those all tend to fall in mid-year, May.
They seem to both be in May because it's Bike Month.
Bike Month and Mother's Day and all of that.
So just one other thing, just on Legacy Ladies and Lattes, we are riding this Sunday. I'm still keeping it at the second Sunday of every month until I see that, women want to get back doing it again. I even play with the idea of, starting earlier, maybe at 6:30 for anybody that wants to get more mileage in, ride a little bit harder. And then if they still want to join for the 8 o'clock ride, because what's happened, which is wonderful and great, and it was the whole point of it, is a lot of the women they've even far exceeded me in cycling. And so they want a little bit of that longer, harder distance.
Right.
And for them too, Sundays is a day that they have to get that in. So,
sure.
So there's that. And Cyclo Femme is an initiative about empowering women in cycling. So we do that in May. And then the Specialized Women event, it's just a big event, and with that one, I try to always have a beginner kind of level, medium, and higher level. So
both in distance and in
distance and speed. And honestly, for me, it truly is just what warms my heart the most is helping somebody who was just like me at one point, just to learn to fall in love with cycling, mm-hmm. and to see somebody fall in love with the sport I love so much. I just feel so grateful that I can be part of that experience.
You're not going to cry.
I'm not going to cry, but it's really moving. It's
weird.
Nice.
All right.
And then I've done the biking stuff, but that's...
Kevin never cries.
Kelly Griffin always tells me it's an adventure. But
So at any rate, Thank you
Did
for
I do
joining
okay?
us. I think you did good, and I'm sure we'll get plenty of positive feedback. So, yes, tune in weekly. Legacy Live, we do it at 8 p.m. on Thursdays. We didn't get a group ride in today because of showers and some lightning and thunder, so we didn't go out. But send us your questions, your topics and points of discussion you'd like us to talk about. I know we've got next week, we've got some, I think some people lined up to talk about some events coming up, and we've got some other opportunities that we're going to share with everybody. So keep the questions coming. Thank you for tuning in. And
I think the Bearded Wonder will be back next week. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Shut may have lost his job. That's a definite possibility. But thanks for tuning in. Peace out.